Good morning and welcome. Kim Searle, Emotional Mastery here today. Thank you so much for joining me for this next interview with my very good friend, Gill Fountain. Hello, my lovely. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing really well, thank you. Yes, it's lovely to see you again, because although we've been posting and commenting on each other's posts, etc., we haven't actually had a face-to-face meeting for a few weeks now, have we?
No, we haven't, not with all this lockdown. But I see it looks really beautiful in your garden there. The sun's out. I think it's out here too, but I haven't seen outside yet.
The sun is out, and I've done this because I cannot work this green screen stuff. You know, the green screen on Zoom. And so I said to Chris, just redecorate and I'll get some really nice curtains. And that's what we've done. After all those years of struggling with a green screen and processors and cameras, we've decided, forget it, just paint it.
Fantastic. So we'll come on to more about what you do, because that's really important, isn't it? Those green screens and whatever. So the reason I'm doing these interviews is that I'm all about raising the vibration of the planet by clearing the crap, the emotional and mental crap from people's being, so they can go, ah. And you can do that with their marketing, can't you? And I thought that might be really useful for our small business and business owners out there who are facing quite a challenge at this time. So Gill, just tell me a little bit more about you and what you're doing.
Okay, well, my background, believe it or not, is in the toy sector. So I started my business over 30 years ago in toys, outdoor play and toys. And I literally was selling to families, and they used to run in the garden to see what I had on display. And over the years, we met so many people. And it was known that some families ran in and said, well, you've seen number one, you missed number two, and here's number three, as they ran out. It was so informal, but it was a fun time. And we'd had climbing frames and all sorts of things, to the point my children actually didn't realise that this was not normal until they got to about 8 or 9. They came home one day and they'd been to a play date, as it were. And they said, they didn't have any climbing frames, Mum. And I said, well, no, because people don't normally have this amount of climbing frames. And they went, oh, we thought this was normal. Aww. So, you know, no, people don't have 3 trampolines in their gardens and numerous swing sets. But hey, you know, they didn't know because they were children. Mm. And slowly we went retail, wholesale, international distributor, and went up to get to know the really big buyers in the big stores. And we looked at our warehouse in one day, back a few years ago now, and the buying habits have changed. And this is probably what's going to happen again, and what we're seeing at the moment. Not only had the buying habits changed for the consumer, so the end user, but because of that, the knock-on effect was that the buying habits for the buyers had got to change, because their stocks were sat there, and therefore they didn't need to order the next 6 or 7 pallets of stuff. They didn't need the amount of containers that I was bringing in from China. So they reduced to be stock on demand, supply on demand. Oh, wow. And that meant that my warehouse, over the course of only 6 weeks, was full. And we went down to my warehouse and we stood and we looked up 5 racks, 5 levels.
Oh my gosh.
And all you could see were our toys. It was just level upon level. And we worked out that we had hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of stock. And we knew by the orders coming in and what the buyers were saying, is that was going to sit there for quite a while.
Wow.
So we had to change our business. We had to move the stock on. We had to change the business. And in saying that, it was a difficult time. It was an amazingly difficult time. And we changed it. Well, to be honest, we came up to Christmas and we said to the buyers, right, this is it. Help me. We've worked together for quite a while. Can you just help me? I've got all this stock. And if you are interested, we will do something. And they just said, yeah. And it was actually the top buyers that helped me out. And you
And
know,
that's great, isn't it? That's what we need, particularly in this current environment. So you've been through your own coronavirus or your own virus type crisis in your one business already. So
yeah,
you've overcome it by working with other people. Is that, would that be fair to say?
that is exactly it. We worked together for a long time. We were all meeting at the exhibitions. We had a lot of shops that we sold to, and the bigger buyers at that point in time had a name for being quite ruthless. However, we built up a very good rapport with them, and we found that they were very fair with us. Now, I'm not sure how things went with everyone else, because it is about that know, like and trust relationship that you have. And when we ask for help, and I think again, because we're quite flexible, we were talking about this just now, we're quite a giving company. So and we'd come up with ideas, we actually one time said to one of the buyers, we had a product launch for fancy dress. And we said to them, what we'd really like to do is have a medieval banquet in your restaurant. And he went, yeah, okay. So we had a medieval banquet for children in Bentall's, Kingston-on-Thames head office, key store.
All right, yes.
For children. And we took our shields and our swords and our capes, and they ran around the shop and they picked up all lots of stuff from the store, and they dressed the restaurant up, and the children came and we had a medieval banquet with them. It was so much fun.
Oh, do you remember the medieval banquets of the 80s?
Yes.
Real thing at one time, when I loved them. I loved them.
Yes, I do remember them, and I don't know if anybody does anything like that these days, but
I don't think they do.
No. So yes, we did have a lot of fun, but we had to change our business. And because Chris has got this graphic design business head on, because he actually has won awards for innovative software that he designed, which is actually being used today by millions of people.
Wow, really?
Yeah, he's got a huge background in helping design and really move forward with technology. And today he works with Adobe and Google and Amazon Web Services, and they're with the website platform. He's got their own. They're all talking to each other all the time about what's going on. So it's really about sorting out how our lives are going to move forward in the future to make things easier online. And that's beside all the stuff that I give him with his websites, do this and do that on marketing and helping me. So yes, we changed our business to marketing and branding. He'd already run a graphic design company. He'd already had a printing company, so his experience was amazing. I started my life in paper and print. So we had a fair amount of background, and of course we've been marketing our products and services for, at that point, probably about 22 years. So always promoting toys, and it is a fun sector to be in. So we decided, well, do you know what? We can do this for everyone. We don't have to be on toys. But I have to say, if you get me started on toys, I can tell you even now the size of springs on a trampoline. I can tell you the weight. It's very, very sad, the amount of information I've gathered up here. But the learning curve, I think that I had the worst and the most ongoing learning curve that I ever had.
Yeah.
Was the fact that I didn't grow up with social media. I don't know about you, Kim.
True. For most people of our age, I mean, I remember being in business between 2004 and 2008. And I think LinkedIn was around, because I just noticed today, I signed up in 2005.
Yes.
But it was very, very small fry back then. And I did, you may not know, but there was a company called Ecademy run by Penny Power and Thomas Power. They did really well with that originally. It grew exponentially. And it was sort of a precursor to Facebook, which was interesting.
Really?
It was awesome. We all had our own page and our own stuff, and you could communicate with each other. but it was all very early day stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
We were ahead of our time, I think.
Well, it was the children coming home and saying, "Mum, I think you need to look at Facebook and a thing called Facebook." And to start off with, we couldn't see where that was going because it was very, very sociable. It was nothing to do with business at all. So I signed up for the LinkedIn side of things, being what I felt was more professional.
It's still got that
still
reputation.
got that reputation. And I slowly, very slowly, I have to say, there's a whole thing on it about how I did and didn't like LinkedIn to begin with, but eventually it all came. But it is ongoing, and even now, you can get up some days and things have just changed. They've just moved on, and you have to move on with them. So being constantly on the ball about how it's growing, and when you start to think about how big it is, how big social media is, and what impact it could have on us, and even to the point, I caught myself the other day thinking, did somebody know this was going to happen? Has Facebook been a gift for us? Because if you think about the amount of people that may not have been on social media but are now seeking friends and family through different platforms online, my brain was thinking, was this supposed to be like this? Because somebody up the line knew this was coming. I got very deep that day, I can tell you.
But don't get me started. Conspiracy theories are my thing, and I do believe this was preordained by someone somewhere. But that's another story. So it's interesting then, because marketing, you and I have worked online. We talk very much about my online presence.
Yes.
And I know when I started out the second time, 18 months ago, there or thereabouts, I was being pushed by a lot of people to still go with prints and handouts and whatever, and I really resisted it for my own personal health reasons at the time. But of course, ironically, bam, here we are all on social media. So suddenly there's a big push out on there on social media, and if you're not careful, you get lost in it all, don't you?
You can get lost in it. So the idea so what I've done is I started to align myself with different groups. Actually, it was a few years ago now. But the fact is if you are a good contributor into a smallish group to start off with, which does grow, people get to know you because you are giving value all the time, and it ends up with not only work coming your way, but opportunities. And sometimes the opportunities are amazing. You get opportunities that you didn't even dream of that would come into your lifetime. And the people that you meet are extremely knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And it is that thing about like-minded people. I've gone into groups on Facebook, and literally within a day, I've backed back out again, because it's not the sort of group that I want to be associated with, or I just don't get the sense of humour. There's something there that's a little bit amiss, I'm not keen on. But other groups I've been on, I stick with, and I feel that it's a safe environment. So it is all about feeling that you're comfortable within a group, getting value and giving value. And slowly you will find that people start to recognise you. Now, in one particular group I've been with, when I say small, when I started in that particular group, the group was 33,000. They are now at 65,000, and I think that's probably the fourth year. What have I got out of that group along with side clients? I've done 2 summits, which went global. I was part author of part author of a book. That offer came through there. Numerous times online. The other night, I literally woke up in the middle of the night, and the owner, who I'd got to know, just put a message saying, "Are you up?" Because she could see I was on Facebook. She said, "Are you up?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm up." And she said, "Come on, I'm going on live." I'm going on live in 20 minutes. Come and join me. And going online meant I could not, in my dressing gown. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. So I literally, what I hadn't realised, I'd posted and I'd seen her online. So she went live and she said, I do believe Gill Fountain from the UK is joining us any minute. And I posted online thinking I was putting it in Messenger. Give me a minute, I'm just getting dressed. The whole place saw me go scrabbling around trying to get dressed. And I came in and she said, you know, oh, here we go. She's up, she's dressed, here she is.
Yeah, but and
it was, we spent about an hour just chatting about, she's in marketing, I'm in marketing, and we've sort of just jogged along with each other, helping each other out as we go. So that was quite good fun. And at the moment I'm doing two sets of 13-minute session. So start that one again. I'm doing twice a week a session of 30 minutes each on 2 particular groups. So every Tuesday at 3 o'clock I'm in One Woman's Voice, and every Wednesday at 10 o'clock I'm in Women's Entrepreneurs Network.
Yeah.
And there's about 17 of us that are giving out tips on all sorts of things. We're not all marketing, we're not all marketeers. It's a variety. The ladies on today, there's 3 of us today, and we all help promote each other. It's actually quite nice. Complete strangers before this started. We've been going for 4 weeks. We're messaging each other. We're promoting each other. It's a really good friendship, to the point the owner of One Woman's Voice, Leslie Flowers, she said, does anybody want to move days? And all 3 of us refused. We said, no, we're happy. We've got our little supply line here. We're okay. We've got a support group going.
That sounds awesome. So the 30 minutes has happened since the coronavirus had us all locked down, has it?
It has. And the strange thing is that we organised this in January. So in January, we were asked if we wanted to take part in these 13-week sessions that will end in June. And they were to start in, I can't remember, March time. It was 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. And it just coincided with exactly what was going on in the world today.
How funny.
And lockdown and everything that we're going through. So we'd already put the work in. We'd already got everything up and going. And when I say all we have to do now is actually go live, it's a little bit different than that, because I'm tweaking things here, right, left and centre, because what I'd put down as being, you know, everybody out networking, meeting each other, is no longer valid. So you do have to go with the times. And I did something the other day which I saw. So this was something I saw the other day. Your profile on LinkedIn, the bit that everybody sees every time you post, I'd seen something that was quite insensitive. Now, 4 weeks ago, it was not insensitive at all. The words used were fine. No problem whatsoever. Nobody would even question it. 3 weeks in, it's wrong. People could be upset. So what was sort of a little quote, a joke, which people would smile at, is no longer funny. So that was one of the things that I was talking about last week, was, you know, do check your profiles to make sure you haven't got an insensitive word, because we all know, you know, people aren't in a good place at the moment, and the last thing you want to do is upset them.
Yeah, I get that, and that's why I thought this was my ideal time to step up, which is why I'm doing interviewing, why I'm doing free webinars and all that. And you know, I wouldn't be in this space if it hadn't been with working. I know we didn't do much last year, but my plan was always to work more with you. And you know, one of the things we talked about was a website review as well, wasn't it? And it's not just your LinkedIn profile, you've got to check it all.
No,
you do that as well, don't you? You review the websites and the SEO.
We do. Yeah, we do the whole thing. We review the websites. We created in a week, the first week we were on lockdown, we created a completely new suite, which is called Laboratory 38 on our website. And it covers, this went from one idea. What did I do? I wanted a name for a product, a new service. And I asked online on Facebook, I put it on my personal Facebook page. Can anybody think, this is what I want to do, but I can't think of the word to use. And so many ideas came out of it that we suddenly looked at our services and thought, the services that we had 6 weeks ago, people are not going to go for now. They're not interested. They need stuff that's really quite easy to do and asking advice. So we created a new suite of services, and they include a building skill sets hub, which is weekly on a Monday, and that's where people can come promote their businesses, but also bring one marketing question. And literally, we have put ourselves on the line here because anybody in the world can see this. Anybody can turn up. It's free. It's on Zoom. We don't know what questions they're going to bring. And Chris and I sit up. Well, Chris has got his upstairs study and I'm downstairs. And we sit there, we're like, we don't know what's coming our way.
There's always a way to just whenever, or the thing is, you can prepare for it as a project manager in a former life. You can prepare for those unknown questions. You might not know what they are, but what you can do is have either a question to give you a moment to think. So you can repeat the question back, is that right?
Yes.
It gives your unconscious mind a chance to think back. If you then don't have the answer, sometimes the answer will come to you.
Mm-hmm.
But if the answer doesn't come to you, what do you do then? A tip, I'm going to share this, in the training community is then to say, that's a really good question. And before I answer that, would the audience like to say something?
I've not thought of that one.
Wow, boom! It's not you anymore. And then they will come up with their ideas and you're still thinking of what it is you want to say. I'm just saying.
I'm going to have to write that down. Ask.
So really ask the audience. It's powerful because actually we don't have to know all the answers. They can bring a marketing question, but there's nothing to say you've got to answer it, is there?
No, well, that is true, although we will do our best to answer it. But just the fact that we have got 30 years each of doing this.
But there's always one, isn't there?
There is going to be one that comes up, and we're going to stay. But we will be asking the audience at that point.
Yeah.
So what else have we got?
Question.
Sorry. Yeah.
Before I answer that question.
Advice tank. Wellness clinic, which is what you were asking about, and that's where every website has got a score. You don't know this. People don't know this. You set up a website, even if you've self-built your website, it gets scored. Google and the bots come out and they score your website, and you either reach a score where they will push you out there, give you somewhere in the ranking, or you fail, or you get downscored. Now,
I think my score's quite low. I haven't
checked it lately. We can check everybody's scoring. Any website that's done, we've got our test that we do where we can test websites. Excuse me, and we can see what is wrong with the website, and quite often it's such silly things that the business owner can put right themselves, or they can just send it on to their web designer to tweak it. And it is quite often, it's not a rebuild, it's not an overhaul, it is just tiny things that people can do to be able to get their businesses become more visible online and get further up those ranking pages organically without paying. And that's the bit that we like to do, is you don't have to pay people fortune monthly fees to keep your business up there if you've got your website set up in the first place correctly, so that the search engines, the bots, Google, etc., will find you.
And so what was that product called?
This is called Website Wellness Clinic, and what we do there, we've got two ways of doing it. With this particular one, we people send us their email. I can't tell you, it is ridiculous what we've done. What we've done is we used to have we still do have a website health check. With the website health check, we score the site, but then Chris sits and he writes all the report out. And that takes hours to analyse and put it out so that the person at the other end understands what to do. We then follow up with a 30-minute, 40-minute phone call telling them each part of that report. So after sending them the report, we then talk it all through with them, tell them what to ask their web designer, tell them how to tweak things. So we've culled that last bit because that bit just takes so long. And what we do now is people send in their websites, we score them. We do send out a report, but we traffic light it.
Much better. People like that, don't they?
So if you get one part of your website, the scoring, this particular part has got a red on it, then you know you've got to do something to it. If it's amber, it's a, you know, if you do this, you'll get some, but if it's green, you don't have to worry about it. But what we do then is we pull people back into a group session, and then we explain the different points of how the red, amber and green work and what they can do if they've got that particular colour against that particular item. So by doing that, we're able to group people together on the feedback bit, which means that the 40 minutes that we spend normally talking to individual clients, we can explain on a broader context with a group of people instead.
Sounds good, yeah.
And by doing that, we've reduced that service to, which I believe, £40.
Oh, wow, that sounds good.
I know. It is.
A month or?
No, it's a one-off thing. We've got other services that they can come into. Marketing Diamonds is still going. Again, that's a monthly subscription where we go through how to increase your visibility, all sorts of things with marketing on a monthly basis. But the website wellness clinic, we literally is a one-off. Come in, we score the site, then you come into a group session and we tell you how to do it. If at that point you want more information out of us, then our time is chargeable. But for this particular one, we feel that what we want to achieve when we come out of this, we've done this suite of services. So we've got, let me just read that out to you so you know. So Business Skill Sets Hub every Monday is free, online meeting. The advice tank is when you come to us for help because you know that you've got a problem with your marketing or branding. The website wellness clinic is when you want your website scored because you've already identified that your website may not be attracting may not be attracting potential clients, or you cannot find yourself on Google, you're not coming up very far on Google, so we can show you how to tweak your website to make it more visible. Keeping it together with comms. I love that one. Keeping it together with comms is all about Zoom and how you can make the best of your meetings with your clients with Zoom, and lots of little bits that people aren't really finding on Zoom and what they can do, and showing you how to share. There's all sorts of things, how to go live because you can stream live into Facebook Live. There's a whole load of stuff in there.
Might need to sign up for that myself then.
Yep, you can, without paying because what happens? Oh dear. See what I said? I said to you, didn't I? Just start me off and I'll just keep talking.
I know. We've got 2 more questions and then we'll... So Zoom straight into Facebook.
You go straight, you can. Also, what happens when you search for it, they say you have to sign up for webinar to get to that level, but you don't. There's a little hidden gem in there that helps you go straight in. So that's to do with the comm side. And then Marketing Diamonds we've kept on because that monthly meeting, this came about, all these other ones came about because Marketing Diamonds is a monthly meeting, but at this point in time, people can't wait for the next monthly meeting. They want things instantly.
And particularly right now where they're, because as you were talking earlier about what you did with the toy industry into marketing, you and what you're doing now by redoing all your products is you've pivoted your business and done it really quickly and effectively. And a lot of businesses out there are either not doing that at all, they're just assuming to stay the same, or they know they've got to do it and don't know how, or they know they've got to do it and they're doing it slowly, or they are like you and they're just turning their business around. And it's people like yourself, possibly people like me, maybe, that will do the best, because what you're doing is you're responding to market conditions.
That's right.
I know I started off with marketing diamonds, didn't I? And it was,
you did.
I needed more one-to-one time. I do prefer that. So it's a good starting point with you, isn't it? These ones where you can dip in and out of.
It is, and it's a low cost monthly bill. It's a low cost monthly bill where you have got access to us, and we come up with all sorts of ideas. We were talking the other day to a client about, believe it or not, delivery abroad, packaging, how to make the best out of their packaging. They were designing a package. They wanted to ship some stuff out. They needed the packaging right. We were going down to how many boxes you'd get on a pallet. We would go, and this wouldn't come up normally in a normal marketing company, but because we've got all this experience in importing, exporting, print, everything that you can think of that has been absorbed by us over these years, we're like sponges. It's embarrassing because we quite often we're like, we know that. And we do, because being on that side of things, we know how not at the moment, but we know how the buyers think, and we know how they arrange their shop. So when you go into a shop, you probably know, but things are positioned in a place where to attract the best attention.
Yeah, that old psychology thing.
It's a whole psychology thing behind it, and it's very interesting. So we know what sort of packaging the buyers will accept and what they won't accept. So coming to us and saying, oh, I really like this pretty little, like, that won't stack well on a shelf, that won't work well, it won't ship well, you won't be able to get so many cartons in a packages in an outer, and so it goes on. And we got really into depth with one particular client, and it was hours on, because what we do, Kim, and I don't know whether I've told you this, but with our ongoing clients, we use Slack. So Chris and I use Slack all the time. It's a communication thing, a bit like Messenger, but you can put different channels, different subjects into this particular online program software. And that means we stop shouting at each other all the time. So we are constantly typing messages in, instructions. Can you take a look at this particular site? Can you upload me this? Can you download me that? And what we do with ongoing clients is they have their own Slack channel. So they have access to us at all times.
No, I didn't know that. So you have a tool called Slack.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And and you can upload your own files to it's got a really good searchable area on it as well. But it means that we set them up as a private client, and as soon as they type a message into that part of the Slack program, it pings at us, so we know that client wants some information out of us. Now, we don't always get to it straight away because we're off doing other things, but we check it probably hourly, because that's what we're doing. We're both sat talking to each other and working, and one of the clients will come up and say, I don't know how to do this, how does this work? And we can go straight back on and show them. So it's free. I love free stuff. I just love not having to pay out all these monthly bills.
And that's a really good thing right at the moment, isn't it? So if I may, allowing me to ask the next question while you just take a little drink, because you're sounding like you're line up.
I am. I'm getting croaky.
I was drinking, so I'm all right. So as we come towards the end of this, then obviously you've adapted your business amazingly. That's brilliant stuff. What advice do you think you could offer people who are, particularly in small businesses, but actually all businesses, to make good use of this time to, you know, get their marketing under their belts? What's the best piece of advice can you give?
I would
pieces if you need to.
Sorry?
Pieces if you need to, more than one.
I wouldn't sit back. Now, we're all going through whatever we're going through with our families in different situations. None of us know really what's happening and what the struggles that each other are struggling with.
Yeah.
But if you can spend a little time on your marketing, that does include Google My Business, and that does include reworking your LinkedIn profile. It is all about trying to get yourself out there at the moment. And the people that are online helping other people are standing above the crowd, above the noise. If you're able to do that, and it isn't the case of you have to do it by yourself, there are some very good groups online, very good meetings online. Again, you don't have to pay anything. They are charging you. There are companies that are charging for networking online, but there's some incredibly good ones out there where you are meeting. Sometimes you meet a few people that you already know, but actually you're getting yourself out into a different area, because we're all working on a worldwide basis now.
Yeah.
Or we can if we want to. We don't have to. But if your business is something that can be done throughout the country, something that you can adapt overseas, then this is the time where you can join these particular groups and get to know these people. And I've joined a couple of groups purely because I've known them now. Kim, you actually know one of these people, because we met him at LinkedIn Local. He came down from Bristol a few times.
Oh yes, yeah.
And he started an online meeting every Monday morning. He invited me along to it's a community business group, if you like. And I went along, but surprisingly, I did know a couple of people in that room.
Fabulous.
How amazing is that? The only time we've ever met each other is in Basingstoke at LinkedIn Local. So, and because the way that he handles his business, and he's very good at online sessions, that is in my diary now, and that's what's going to happen. If you are able to promote yourself and your business or help people at the moment, they are going to allocate their time to you. Now, in the next 2, maybe even 1 week, everybody that is in business will be allocating their time to different areas. They will be aligning themselves with different people. So where we had got into the habit of, it's this day I'm out at breakfast with this networking group, it's another day of the month I'm out at lunch with this networking group, that's all gone. And the fact is that people haven't kept with the people that they normally network with, because the opportunities out there are so much greater now. So even now, 2-3 meetings up the road, I'm getting to know more people, and I'm experiencing, or I'm learning from other people, because everybody's willing to give. Now, nobody in these meetings are selling to each other. Nobody. I have not been sold to once. It's only that know, like, and trust. But the point there is, the people that I knew, liked, and trust are the people that I went towards when we came into this. I'd already built up relationships. Yeah. I'm getting to know their circle of business owners. So if you, at this point in time, can get to people to know you, like you, and trust you, then as we come out of it, they will be the ones that come back and are willing to support you and are willing to buy your services.
Awesome. What a great piece of advice. And I think you're absolutely right. I do love the fact that people are being generous, and you know, in a number of different ways. It's not just about money and time. There's generosity in many different ways.
Yeah.
The fact that we've got a lot of humanity coming out, that's a good side.
Yes.
The shame is that if we're not careful, that'll just all recede once this is all over. Wouldn't it be awesome if this continued? We'd all thrive then.
Wouldn't it?
Thrive. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be.
So, okay, my last question then.
Mm-hmm.
Might be putting you on the spot, so you might refer to the audience.
What's this? I don't know.
I mean, businesses are going to change enormously, and as you're talking about networking immediately, that I think that will change. But do you have any idea of what the future holds for us where marketing is concerned?
I do think that, because at the moment, or rather on the lead up to this, marketing people's businesses was really very low on the priority list. The bigger companies understand marketing and they've got their whole departments working for them, but marketing was way down the list of priorities in a business owner's list of things that they wanted to spend their money on. I think the smaller businesses will try, and there's loads out there. I'm doing lots of workshops and, like I say, Facebook Lives, where I'm showing people how to do things. And I think business owners will be more willing to learn because they will see that they don't have to pay other people huge. I mean, you can get charged a huge amount of money to have somebody marketing your business. It's silly money, and it's something that goes, you can get caught out, let's just put it that way. I get told stories that just drive us to frustration about people that have not been given the what they paid for, basically. But I do think that marketing, it will become more important and they'll see the relevance of it. And again, when we come out of this area, if we haven't done any marketing or promoting ourselves during this time, and then we take time to get back meeting people or carrying on online meeting people, whatever way we've done to promote our business, if we're slow at it, others will overtake. And again, if you're not keeping that know, like and trust going, it will be difficult to get back out there and get your business back up again. I've got people that are coming onto me in LinkedIn who I have not met, commented, nothing, telling me they want to, they say they want to collaborate with me. They think they can work with me. Why would I choose them over somebody that I have already made that connection, a good connection with? I just wouldn't do it.
That's a numbers game. It's the old way of working. You keep going on at people and eventually one will say yes. So
yes, it is. It's annoying. But yeah, it is all about building relationships. And if you can do that now and keep them, then those are the people that will stick with you as you come out.
Lovely. Great advice. I've really enjoyed talking to you today.
And you.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground, so thank you so much, Gill.
Oh, thank you, Kim. I mean, it was a lovely message to get, to a great invite, come on and do this. It's like, and you know me, if I start talking, it's quite hard to stop me. So thank you very much.
Oh, who knows? I might have you back in about a year's time, see how we've survived coronavirus.
Oh, yes. That's another story.
Bless us. Thank you so much. And to you, our listeners, if you've got this far, thank you so much. Gill, do you just want to give us how they can contact you, so that we can put that in the comment, but also people have got that information? How do they get it?
So my website is www.38partnership.co.uk. If you want to have a look at the suite of new services, then it's under Laboratory 38. But my email address is jill@38partnership.co.uk, and that's Gill with a G.
I was just about to say that. Perfect. So marvellous. Thank you very much, everyone. And Gill, we'll chat again very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.